buenas noches, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. As always, muchas gracias to everyone for everyone's words, wishes, prayers, and of course, the love you guys share and extend my way. From Dakota, muchísimas gracias. Well, everyone, right now I want to touch on the topic that I've been avoiding, honestly, right? You guys know it's just not in me to speak, not just about another channel, about another individual. It's not why I'm on here, but it comes to a point where I've been asked ever since I started my own channel about Tony, and for certain things I just left it alone. I know a lot of people said I was scandalous when he came on the live, and I was real to the point and cut with him. And to me it was a big disrespect, right? But anyways, I'm not gonna wolf out of character, out of my neck. That's not me. I've been places. I'm not just on here speaking that I've been this, done that. Next thing you know, I become a DO, cell soldier in behind a door. Even worse, right? A door could crack and you can boogie. You're 1,000 miles away, speaking behind a screen, right? Like a straight hyena. That's just not me. My respects. And this will be the last time I even address anybody, period. I know it's what brings numbers on YouTube, but it's not why I'm on here, Just real cut and short. 2 days ago something happened here at the ranch. By Monday I'm out of here, right? Should be over there where I've been mentioning. And I don't feel right. I feel like a weenie. I feel like I'm abandoning my family in a time of a boogie. A time of having to buck up, right? 2 days ago they tried to take a nephew of mine. We were there, right? Me and 2 other family members, and we stopped it. But it's like me, right? I used to forget my family and everybody that was there for me. Now when things like this happen, I forget my health, that I'm just not that individual no more, and I shouldn't be mentally, right? I walk now with God, right? And I understand I shouldn't be doing these things, but I don't look for them. It's difficult, fighting with what I've always been my whole life, to having to put everything aside. Regardless, for one, I gotta respect my family. They sat down with me and they told me, you know what, sabes que, Chino, no queremos que siga siendo a kamikaze. Every time I went in a mission here in Mexico, it was a kamikaze mission. We were expected not to come back, and I was okay with it. I was always at peace with it, for something I believed in. So now I'm having a problem. Is why not with family, right? But it's just I don't have it in me physically. See, my problem's been my mind, always. I always tell everyone, the worst enemy of one, it's its own mind. It tricks you. But anyways, enough about me, right? Again, we stopped. We did something as a Christian I should not be doing, should not do. But God forgive me, I don't regret it. My cousin would have been, well, you guys know, I don't need to explain. This is Culiacan, Sinaloa. And yesterday, point blank, I was gone. I was supposed to die yesterday. I was using the machine wasn't working, it gave out on me. I don't know what's wrong with it. It was so hot because of what happened that I couldn't leave the ranch till this morning. It's where I'm going back from right now. And I'm still a hardhead, right? Look, I'm right here alone waiting to go back to the ranch, right? So I'm in the city. You know, it is what it is. Fear and me just never clicked, right? And I know it's dumb. So everyone, you guys don't have to yell, you know. I make common sense of things. I always do. It's just I'm impulsive, right? I need to change that. But anyways, enough about me. Let's touch in on what I wanted to touch in before I dance around it some more, right? Excuse them dogs. You know, I'm waiting right here to leave the parking lot. But anyways, Tony, let me start off again, you know. Not gonna woof if everybody thinks. First and foremost, allow me to thank Tony. You know, at the time he came by, you know, and I honestly felt it's a matter of days, right, for me to go. I had the 2 brain attacks. I had a heart attack, thrombosis. We didn't know exactly what it was. It was just one thing after another, right? December and April, and boom, 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 boom. And according to the doctors, excuse me, I have a lot of problems breathing. I have to turn this thing on. And as you guys know, I had very little time, right? So my objective was to get the message out there, right? Just get the message out there. In the sense, leave something good. That's what I thought, you know. And there was a lot of hit and miss, right? For example, that individual that had his handler contacted me, and you know, certain cats that me personally I would never mess with, right? You guys can say I step back on this and that, okay, but if you wean it out in any way, even if according to you did not tell, but you still tapped out and went to that side, I'm okay, right? And not because I think any less of you. It's just the way I think, right? I respect you. I expect to be respected back, right? In that aspect. Anyways, at first, you know, we worked something out with Tony, you know, so he let me put my story out there as much as possible before I punched, and it was gonna look out, you know. You guys know how I am. I've never told him, I never asked him. He from his boca stated things, put things, everything. You know how I am. Palabra overall, right? If your palabra ain't good, then dispensa, you ain't good to me. That's just me, right? And at first, yeah, you know, everything that came out of his mouth, he was truthful with it. And we kept pushing, you know. Things started unfolding, you know. You guys that have been with me know, right? And I want to do something to help this individual, right? Because I've always been that one hand that scratches a hand, always scratches the next man's hand, right? So if you extend your hand to me, I want to do the same, right? So I'm not gonna say characters or names, but I'm still in touch with a lot of people that, let's just say, they ain't happy with the current wiggles movement, right, of the Causa Sureña M. So even made carnales that, you know, under certain things they were willing to meet with me and conversate and put something together I thought I was going to be gone at any moment. I wanted to leave something good for this individual, right? I mean, even though you weren't going to hear his voice, whatever, you were going to know right away this is an active made member on the spot. So we set up times. I used to go out. Just think about that. The position I would put myself, right? That sick guy was, regardless, I was going to keep my end. I went out to a park to meet this individual. Mind you, yeah, I'm here at the ranch, but everybody know I said F the AME, right? And you guys know why. But I still trusted this person, what we had to meet and get this going. And I did. I went out there. And then Tony would just not call in. He will make some dumb excuse after dumb excuse after dumb excuse. Then whatever came out his mouth was all lies. And it just went down like that, right? Time and time again. At least 5-6 times I went out my way to leave something on his channel that nobody else has on YouTube, right? For him. My thoughts were, I put my story and I'm gonna punch, right? Period. I'm still in that movement, right? I'm on God's time. But you guys know, that, like I said yesterday, I really thought I was. So you guys know, with my current situation, I could be talking to you right now. In 2 hours you guys could be receiving a message from my knees that God decided to say ya estuvo away, and I'm at peace with that. So again, I was doing it for him, but every time I would put myself in that situation and I try to call, no answer. He played dumb, and always came up with a dumb excuse. Dumb excuse, right? That was said amongst humans, we just won't speak on it, right? So at the end, I kept pushing through because he was allowing the message to be on his channel. It was his channel, his followers, and I understood and respected that. So I also, thinking of him, is when I started wanting to open a channel, because I wanted to be more in touch with you guys. I feel I was disrespecting you guys by sometimes you guys left a comment and he didn't like it and he would eliminate them, or he wouldn't allow me to leave my email. Regardless, I talked to him, told him, hey, what I give you is you, I'll never go back on my word. He had a problem with it, which was cool. I don't know if you guys remember, I opened my channel and then I closed it, because I didn't want pedos with this individual. At the end of the day, he helped me in the beginning where it was real heavy, and I always been a man of my word, right? I'm loyal pendejo, excuse my word. Loyal tonto, stupido, right? It's always been my problem. But anyways, what really pushed it over the board, excuse me, if you guys hear my breathing again, I apologize. What really pushed it over the board for me was I don't fuck with snitches. I don't do rats. All this weenie stuff they play on YouTube, my respects, but that's B stuff. I don't know why people think it's funny, We're at a new age that is the telling era. Everybody's okay with snitching, but you can't. It ain't my era. I'll stay in my lane, right? But there's a certain channel, it's not important. I'm not gonna say who, it don't matter. He basically reported him, or I don't know what he did. He had some people, and he thought it was funny. He had his channel demonetized. I dislike this other individual from the other channel big time. But I seen afterwards, what he had done with himself, his family, the spot he had put him. and overtelling. So he was laughing about it, and then he told me how he's gonna make sure he never got his channel back. That's when I told him, I was straight up, I don't have pelos en la lengua. So I told him, look, I could take you making up excuses for stuff, and are you telling me it's gonna be one way? We're talking about feria, right? If you're talking about you're gonna send me $100, and then you come up with an excuse, oh, I'm only gonna send you 30, and I keep pushing, allowing it, then I wasn't doing it for feria. Yeah, it's a big help. But another thing is for me to be messing with you, knowing you're telling and hurting other people, right? By your boca. So I called them out on it, everyone, respectfully, real respectfully. You guys know how I am. And at first he was cool about it. Then he seen it was for reals. Then he started getting out of pocket, And I don't block people, eh? People come on, they wolf, whatever. I will not block nobody because I think that's lame stuff too, It's just me. So I didn't block him. I just told him, that's great, Blessings to you and family. Thank you for everything. He told me how everyone that was with me was because of him. And then, it was his channel. I understand his angle. But again, I just said respectfully, the next day he was calling me like nothing. I ain't that one, I just ain't that one. That's why when he came on the channel, on the live, there was a couple people that knew the background was saying, the nerf and stuff. That's I don't know what to call it, They snitch, they hide, they do this, and they talk out their neck, and then the next man, he and my lady. I understand when you're in a relationship, you bump heads, you say things. The next day, you bump dirties and you forget about it. This is the situation, we're grown man, right? We're supposed to be doing something out of respect. I already didn't agree with a lot of things he did, but I was the one that wanted to put the message out there, right? Anyways, when I did the channel and everything, we kept pushing, and I know in the beginning when they were reporting the channel a lot, I know it was him, man. Telling you because he told me this in person. He did it to a few channels. And when he said this and laughed at it and saying he had connections, I'm straight on all that. Straight told him, that's ratting, homeboy. I'm cool with all that. How you gonna do that? You say this individual's a peseta, he's a rat, he's this, and you're telling on a rat. See, you have this era now that you have this active M members or sureños, camaradas, and they literally tell on people that supposedly are no good, but it's okay because they're no good. So they're able to tell them. That's BS, a snitch is a snitch. But anyways, getting past that, you guys seen when he came on the live, I was respectful. I'm never disrespectful. If you can't put your hands on me and I can't put my hands on you, I will never speak out of pocket. Ever. That, I think you guys have seen over the time, right? It's just not me. Again, I am who I am. I grew up how I grew up. I'm not gonna change it just because it's a new era, right? Again, my respects to everyone. Now, like I said to Tony that day, I said it from the heart, Had a lot of aprecio for him. Because again, in the beginning, he got me out of some tough binds, right? I couldn't deal with it. I didn't want to ask my family for support, health-wise. But I didn't open the door for him to start sitting on things that came out his mouth, or just because he helped out, I wasn't gonna side with him. And by him doing snitching stuff, it's just not me, you know. It's like that other individual that thought just because I want to put my story, I wanted a Federico handler. You know, okay, gracias, ahí te ves. You know, it's funny people. But anyways, besides that, I wished him well. I told him I appreciate everything he's done from the heart. I hope him and his family always were blessed, and that was it for me, you know. That was the next day when he acted like nothing. I told him, man, you got me confused, but thank you for everything. I hope God shines on you and family always. And I blocked him. I don't do that, you know, but I did. I blocked him. And didn't hear from him till the live, right? That's why I left. And you guys know I'm not saying a lot, but anyways. Oh, the one thing I forgot. He was also happy. I don't know who it was. I don't care who it was. But I guess he had somebody on his channel. He had that individual, you know, supposedly was active. And he had that individual killed, and he was happy about it. I was like, come on. You know? I'm right here speaking on something to help the raza. And you're trying to tell me you're happy to be poisoned to the raza? It's just, I wasn't going to be cool with it. You know, at the end, everything came out to float. But regardless, you know, I wished him well. Prayers to him and family. Now, what everybody's been asking me, that has been going around, right? That he had been taken out because, well, he has been taken out for whatever reasons, right? And look, it's the exact same rumor that I've heard. You know, and I don't know if it could be possible. You know, Tony had a lot going on. It is why from the gate, you know, when he sent Western Unions, I had it directed to a different state because I didn't trust, you know. Because I know how there's a lot of people that say something, and, you know, I've been around too much for that. And in the Western Unions, you know, certain information comes out on my end. But I never once really paid attention to it because, again, I respected, you know, him doing whatever. But at the same time, I know Tony has a lot of things going on. Take care of his family by working, you know. I know he was fed up with YouTube. So I've heard both scenarios, right? That he does have channels. Believe me, he has other channels. He's just behind the scenes, and he's just fed up with all the drama, basically, that was happening in this genre. Which is respectful, you know. Maybe seeing that it was just, like he told me, you know, he had a lot of love and respect for me because of the way I am. You know. At the end, we both apologized. Me for maybe he felt offended because I said that was rat stuff, right? And you guys tell me if it ain't. You know, and all the insults he did, I was never gonna get over them. But what was the point, right? So we just wish each other well, and both rumors have hit at me. So I have had to ask someone to look into it. And Tony's just off his channel. He's doing his family thing. You know, and again, I wish him well in prayers. I hope I was able to clear some stuff up, right? On what everybody's been asking me to touch on him, right? Again, I know it's probably not what I wanted, you know. But as far as I know, this individual's still catching in from YouTube. And I'm glad to hear it, you know. And he's doing his family thing, you know, taking care of his family, enjoying family, which that's what it should be about. At the end of the day, look, We all made mistakes. You know, I couldn't even start to touch on the mistakes, right? But I always say it is wise to grow up, to mature, and be like, okay, am I gonna maintain doing them? Or I'm gonna buck up the right way, which I think in his case he did, you know. He's concentrating on his job, getting a little bit coming from the side from YouTube. He's joining his kids, his family. Not having to come out and watch his back no more, right? Because he was in the area, you know, where it could be bad for him. That mask, going into the boxing matches and stuff, that mask did nothing, you know. But again, that's the story why I pulled away from Tony, you know. Most importantly, he had a problem with me being in touch with you guys, period. When I opened the channel, he was so mad, and I don't understand why, right? I wasn't backtracking. At the end of the day, he has like 30 videos he has not put out that I recorded for him, because again, remember, I thought I was gonna punch out, and they're his. I haven't touched on them. On them, on my story, the way I gave it to him and he has it, I haven't touched on him because I respect. I'm a man of my word, right? They're his. And if he decides to put them out, good. If not, that's his problem, right? I kept my end. He just couldn't hold his. And again, you guys ever heard that saying? A fish dies because of his own mouth. I not once input it how things should be, how they go, anything. He did it himself, and he couldn't keep his word. And at the same time, he was out to hurt people like this, and he just wasn't cool with it, right? But again, I wish this man well. You know, everyone just keep him in everyone's prayers, you know, to maintain good for his family. You know, at the end of the day, he was getting caught up in all this drama, you know, in a boxing match that I'm just not gonna speak. I sincerely will tell right now, everyone. I'm answering because you guys been asking me for I don't know how long since I started, and I'm starting to feel bad by not answering you guys. So here's the answer. I hope it's enough. But from here on out, please don't ask me about fulanito, sutanito, whoever that I see homeboy do this and that. Everything's there, you know. On the people you guys just asked me, everything's there. There's no reason why to doubt it, right? But it ain't my place to speak on it. My respects to the individual, and like a person walking with a higher power, I wish everybody well, right? But with this said, I want to let you guys go. You guys, I gotta drive back to the ranch, because go get chewed out, right? I will go live tomorrow. I will post the time though, because well, I gotta see what time I'm gonna be punching out, right? So I will go live tomorrow. I will inform everybody. Again, Dispensa is not probably what people thought. You know, best wishes to Tony. My prayers to everybody. Please always stay true to yourself and loyal to loved ones. Buenas noches.